Good evening. My name is Erin Thompson. I'm with the Adapting with Autism Network. We are here for night 2 of our 3-day grief workshop, and we are talking about the grief that you may feel after you receive a diagnosis of autism for your child. We are going to jump right into what the 5 stages are and kind of go a little bit more into depth of more about them. Now, as we talked about yesterday, there is no particular order for the steps. You may hit them in any order, you may skip some. So I'm just going to start with denial and isolation, but know that this may not be the first one that you feel. So when you're in this phase, you're probably thinking, this can't be happening to me. We thought the boys were just a little extra fussy on the days that they had their evaluations. We were confused because they made great eye contact with us, and they were so cuddly and snuggly. This can't be happening. This can't be right. Oh, but it is. From what I've read, and this was true for us too, men seem to hang out in this stage a little bit longer. And I'm not trying to dime my husband out. I asked him, I told him I was going to put together a grief workshop, and I said, is there anything that you think I need to make sure to cover? And he says, if he had it all to do over again, he wishes he would have gone through this stage faster. So the sooner you get through the denial and, accepting what is happening, the quicker you can get to getting your children the support, the therapies that they need. So that was why he wishes he would have gone through this stage faster. I also felt myself pull away from others in isolation. Nobody else in my family, or none of my friends, nobody I knew was going through this, and it was just so lonely. My husband was literally the only other person I felt like I could talk to. And it was a little tricky because we were at different parts, in different stages of grief. So there was tension sometimes because of that. But something that really helped me, when we moved to Virginia, there was a local ABA provider that hosted monthly events, and I would fight my inner hermit tendencies because I am a huge introvert. I would make myself go, and I would meet other families on the spectrum, and they became my new tribe. Honestly, I would say get yourself a tribe. You feel so much more understood and safe when you're with these people. They get you and what you're going through so much, and they're just a great resource. I would definitely say finding yourself a tribe of autism families is a huge thing that you can do for yourself. When you're in anger, you are probably thinking things like, why is this happening to me? Who can I blame for this? Why did this happen to us? What is wrong with us? This isn't fair. All the things these kids may never do. And what if they live with us forever? Or never have families of their own? You may feel really mad at God or the universe or whatever you believe in because this happened to you. And honestly, that's okay. How did I get out of this one? I guess for me, finding therapies that we could try really helped. It gave me something to work towards so that I didn't stay in anger too long. It gave me a goal, something to reach for. Bargaining was the stage I probably stayed in the longest. When you're in this stage, you're probably thinking things like, if you make this not happen, in return, I will do this or that. For me, I was doing so much researching on the latest studies for what they thought might be causing autism. So every new potential cause would result in me combing over every detail I could remember about my pregnancies and their early lives, looking for trends or clues, anything that I thought might help. This would keep me up at night and consume my thoughts for large portions of the day, for months and months, maybe even years. Much of this obsessing was in the spirit of, what if I hadn't done this, or if only I avoided that. And these are statements that you may be thinking to yourself a lot in the bargaining phase. How did I get through it? Honestly, it just took time. Over time, other things overtook my thoughts. Being back at work helped a little, I suppose. Even today, if I find out about a new potential cause, I can get sucked back into this phase really easily. Depression tends to be a quieter stage than the others. I felt hopeless a lot in the early days, like I was just in this pit. How can we possibly get through this? I'll never have so many moments that other parents will. Will my younger son ever talk? What if I never hear him say I love you? My daughter was also a baby at the time. Would she have it too? We wanted a big family. Would all of our kids end up having this? Let yourself feel these emotions because you are absolutely allowed to have them, but please know that there is hope and things will get better. I promise you. What helped me was talking with my husband a lot. He seemed like the only one that got it at first. We didn't really have anybody else, honestly, so we only had each other. It felt like we were two people braving the storm all alone. And then later, when I was able to find people in my tribe, anytime I would kind of be hitting something rough that I was going through, it was nice to be able to talk to them. Acceptance is not necessarily happy or uplifting. It doesn't mean you've moved past the grief, but it does mean that you've accepted it and you understand what it means in your life now. You're at peace with what happened. I found a great blog by a father who had come to accept his nonverbal son's autism. And I also learned a lesson that all parents learn eventually, I'm sure. You think you are going to raise this child and they're going to behave a certain way and they're going to do certain things and they're going to want certain things for themselves, but they're not you or an extension of you. They're their own person. So it really took me figuring that out and just knowing that that person that they would become is going to be even more different than I could have probably imagined that it was going to be originally. And that's okay. My goal really changed from I want to recover my sons from autism to now I love them. Even with autism, I love it all. I accept them for who they are. I want to just help them become the best versions of themselves that they can. And I can do that by finding and putting the right supports in place so that they can thrive. So tonight, I would love it if you could post in the comments below this video. Let us know, which stage are you in? Or maybe you're in a combination of stages. Which stage hit you the hardest? Did you happen to skip any stages? What are some interesting things about your journey through grief? And if you don't want to post in the comments, feel free to go live or post a video of yourself talking through your story if you want. However you choose to share, I would love to hear your stories. This is a safe place. We are all in the trenches of this together. Tomorrow, we are going to go through a really powerful perspective on grief and also how to grieve. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope to see you then.